bit of my background here. I never really dated anyone before. Actually, I never dated anyone before. I never held anyone's hand. I never kissed anyone. I never did anything with anyone. I merely I talked to a bunch of girls. That's it. That's all I did. Contrary to popular belief, though. Apparently I'm a whore. So, back to the story, in comes this beautiful girl, and, I laid eyes on her, and I couldn't take them off. Everything was just melting away, and she was the only thing in my focus, and I was astounded, and I was scared, and I was shocked, because never before has a girl that I looked at, stopped me dead in my tracks and made me reconsider what I was doing. Because before I used to just look at girls and oh yeah, she's hot, I'd totally bang her or something. This one was the opposite and the complete 360 degrees of where I started. I saw her, and of course the first thing I realized was how beautiful she was. Notice I said beautiful though, not hot. Before I'd be like, oh yeah, she's hot, she's sexy, she's this, she's that. This girl was beautiful and absolutely gorgeous and jaw-dropping, and like I said, just stopped me in my tracks. So I'm sitting there and I'm just looking at her, and oh my goodness, I started cheesing and grinning like an idiot. I never grinned like that before at the sight of a girl. Because I was like, alright, I have a difficult major in school. I don't really need that in my life, what is love? How do you define love? And, I was just like, I'll never find it. It's not for me. I'm not that type of person. Blah, blah. See her from the side of the class, and I literally, she's lost. She looks lost. She had one or two friends in that class, and I'd never seen her around campus before. So I walk up to her and I'm like, hi, my name's Meron. And I was confident. I wasn't scared to talk to anyone. I took that public speaking class because it was an easy A for me. And I walked up to her and I was like, hi, my name's Meron. And you could tell on her face she was shocked because nobody else walked up to her. Everyone was stuck in their little groups. But I had no intention of dating her, of asking her out, of getting her number, of even talking to her, because she was so far out of my league. Oh my god. The only way that would have ended, I thought, was I'm gonna be her best friend, which was so far from the truth. And so, she sits in the back of the class with this other student, and they're not really a part of the class, but they are. But they record her speeches. And I just couldn't stop staring at her. I just stared at her and stared at her. She would look at me, but I wouldn't stare. I didn't give a shit. You're cute. What am I supposed to hide? And so I would find an excuse to go up there. I'd be like, oh, your phone looks dead. Here's a charger, right? Even though her phone's probably not fucking dead. I'd go up there and before I even knew this girl, this little new girl in here, I gave her my laptop and I was like, hey, here's the password to my laptop. Can you record my speech? My mother doesn't touch my laptop. No, it doesn't happen like that. So with that, I saw trust. I saw a future. I saw more than what I usually see in a girl, which petrified me to death, because I was like, I have no idea how to approach this. I'm just gonna I'm gonna stick back, because there's no way she could like me. She's way too hot. And eventually, we flirt, we talk back and forth, and mind you, we still don't have each other's phone numbers. Finally, I keep inviting her to these bowling events I hosted, and she would never fucking show up. I was so pissed. I was like, damn, I want her to show up. And we went on this ropes course, which was just kind of like a challenge course.
We're on the same team purely by accident. That just
hands around her tiny little waist, picked her up around the log, and put her on the other side. But in that passing moment, we were nose to nose, and there was this shock and this energy, this atmospheric disturbance that I've never ever felt in my life. And I finally comes to my bowling event, and I glow. I was like a pregnant girl glowing. I sit next to her and we start talking, right? Then, so this is 6 months after, by the way. This is 6 months into the semester. The semester's about to end. and this all goes down. So I'm sitting there and she's talking to me, and finally she pops this question on me. She's like, do you have a girlfriend? My heart stopped, my brain stopped, oh, my lips got dry, my palms got sweaty, my pupils dilated about yay big. Oh my god, like, why would you ask me that question unless you didn't like me? It was so hard to believe that this beautiful girl goes for such a guy like me. Like, I didn't do anything extra special to deserve her, or I didn't try hard to get her. I didn't do anything. I was legitimately myself. She's asking Slugbug. She's asking me if I have a girlfriend, and I'm like, no, I don't. But in my mind, I'm like,
don't tell them. Don't tell them what you asked me yet. Just...
No, I'm not. I'm just so, like, in my mind, she asked me this question. I'm like, oh, not yet, but you're gonna be mine. So, you know, I finally get her number. We text like every damn day, and, you know, we go to bowling again. I beat her ass in bowling, and the bet was she kisses me. Pure about, like, even though I was confident, I was still insecure about, like, there's no way she can like me. I'm just gonna get hurt again because I've gotten hurt multiple times, and it's crap. So, like, I was thinking, I was like, ooh, she could go in for a kiss and I could just move my face and just kiss her on the lips. She kisses me, I get this text message from her, and she says, I really like you. Oh my god, I just about cried. Holy shit, this, like, absolutely beautiful girl just said that she really likes me. I come up and I'm just like, alright, like, I'm either gonna ask this girl out or I'm not. I'm sitting in the parking lot and I pull out and I see her in the parking lot and I'm like, oh, I could ask her out or I could drive away and be a little pansy. So I stop my car in the middle of the parking lot and I get out and I'm like, will you, like, Holly? She's like, what's up? I was like, do you want to go on a date? Man, I was shaking. I've never felt those nerves and the butterflies ever in my life. 4 hours talking about nothing and everything. You know, and, like, after our meal was over, we split. What did you get? You got
Big rig.
We both got big rigs, and then she's gonna pick it up from there.
No, well, I'm gonna sell it on my side. Okay.
Right now?
Yeah.
Are you just gonna pick it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I lived in. Okay, I'm gonna tell you a little bit before, and then kind of tell you. So I lived in Texas for a year before I came back, and I worked and did a few other things, and then in spring of 2014, I decided to go back to school. So I went back to our college, and I was just kind of like a classed car person. So I didn't really, like, hang out. I didn't really get to know people. I just kind of did what I needed to do. And then over summer, I took an American Sign Language class because it does count as a foreign language and it was the easiest one. And I was just like, okay, like, let's just take this. Well, I met a couple people in there who were involved in this club on campus. And then I took... I'm going to. It has to do with you and I.
True.
And so I took the first part, and then I was like, oh, well, I really want to get involved. So, fast forward to a year later, and, well, fast forward a couple months, and I walk into public speaking, and because I didn't take English 101 yet, I would take the actual class. So, it was me and a couple of my friends, and one of my friends wasn't technically in the class because he had already taken public speaking, but he wanted to be involved in the club. So, he and I sat in the back, and, you know, we talked, and we just kind of, like, hung out. And when I walked in, I noticed that this guy was staring at me, and I was like, okay, like, why is this person staring at me? Like, I was so confused.
So confused.
I was just, stop making fun of me. And I was like, oh, okay, like, he's cute, and he seems confident, and he, like, beelined for me. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, he's coming over. And I'm not a shy person, but, like, large groups do obviously intimidate me. And I was new, and I didn't really know anyone except for my two friends in there. And so he comes over, and he introduced himself. And in my mind, I'm thinking, wow, he is really confident. Like, I don't know many guys that would come over and have balls to, like, introduce themselves to someone. Just, like, randomly out of the blue. Like, I don't know many people that would do that. I mean, I've done it, but flirting and talking, and we're starting to get to know each other. And I noticed that every time that like he gives a speech, he has it recorded. I know that he's not ever gonna look at his speech, ever.
I deleted them all.
He's never going, like, he does it purely so he can have a reason to talk to me.
Who did I stare at during my speeches?
Shh, I'm getting there.
Okay.
So during his first speech, his introduction speech, where he kind of talked about himself and gave his backstory, and we'll go more into that later. He stared at me the entire time, and I was like, okay, you don't just literally like stare someone down for no reason unless you're truly interested. Anyway, fast forward, that semester ends. I don't talk to anyone over break. I don't, I just hang out with my family and do my thing. The next semester comes, and I'm like, oh, okay, like I'm gonna take this facilitating course. So I take the facilitating course. Lo and behold, he's in it again. Because last day of class, he literally came up to me and he was like, "Are you taking the next class?" And I was like, "Yeah, I will." And so I took the next class, and he was
Mind
in
you,
it.
I was gonna drop it. But I took it because I realized she was in it.
So I took it, and I was like, oh, okay, like this will be fun. I have some friends, I know some people. Totally did not expect this. And he kept inviting me to bowling, and he was like persistent. God, he was a persistent motherfucker. Like every week. And I always had like an excuse.
It was every Thursday, so she got a phone call, she got my ass crawling up her ass every Thursday.
Anyway, I didn't interrupt you when you were telling yours. Pet peeve. So, he finally invites me again. And I'm like, alright, you know what? I get my girlfriend, and I'm like, we're gonna go. Like, get your ass in the car, we are going. And I looked so good that night. And I was like, I'm gonna get this guy. Like, I don't give a shit if he has a girlfriend. I'm gonna get him. And I was like, I know he's already mine. So, like, I know this. I walked in that, and I was, like, so confident. And he, like...
I thought before, though.
So, we walked in, and their bowling alley was full. Like, their bowling lane alley, whatever the fuck it is, was full. And so we got our own. And so it was me and my friend, and then another guy in our class came over, and he was like, well, I'll hang out with you guys. And then this guy strolls over, and he's like, I want to bowl. And I was like, aren't you on the other two? And he was like, yeah, but I got it. I'm like, oh.
I didn't have it.
I was like, the only reason why he wants to be on my lane is so that he can talk to me. I was like, alright, fine. So we started talking, and we're sitting like really close together. Like really close. Like, and we're just kind of like talking. And then I'm like, alright, I'm going to ask him a question. So I was like, do you have a girlfriend? And he was like, no. And then he like kind of paused and looked at me. And he was like, do you have a boyfriend? I was like, hell no. Like, I am single. And so, long story short, he gets my number that night. We started texting all the time. Literally, like, 24/7. Sun up to sundown. Like, I woke his ass up every day. And he would sometimes come to school just to hang out with me. Finally, he asked me out on a date. And I was like, okay, like, yeah, I'll go. I'm really weird about dates, mind you. I don't like going on dates. I'm not good at going on dates. Like, I don't like it. And so I was just like, oh, okay, like, maybe we can be friends. That was total bullshit. We were never really friends. So I was like, alright, I'm just gonna text her. And we're like, alright, let's be friends. So we start to kind of text, and then we go on this date, and we go and sit at Oregano's for 4 hours. Mind you, I've never had a date that sits there for 4 hours. What guy honestly wants to sit there for 4 hours and talk? Not many. So we leave, and then we bowl again the next week, and long story short, 6 months later, we are still together. We fell in love. We found the person. So, my advice to anybody who likes someone who, you know, is like, I don't know, like this guy, like, he's not my usual type. Go for it.
Or
Those are the
you
ones.
don't think they're into you.
Those are the ones that usually pay off the best, because this guy is not my typical type. He is a total sweetheart. I go for
Guy.
douchebags. He's a total sweetheart. He's the best guy I've ever been with. I love him dearly, and he's my best friend. And if I had not taken that chance and gone to bowling, then this would have never happened. And that's our story.
I love you.
I love you.